10. Okay, here, since you're dividing by a negative number, you're going to flip the direction of the arrow, and then you're going to divide this by this. Right, so what's 10 divided by 4? What can you divide it by? 2, right? So it becomes negative 5 over 2. See, that's basically it.
But that's not the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing.
Oh.
This is when you divide by a negative. This is just graphing. Because if you were to graph like this, most students, if they see this, they say, oh, let me follow the direction of the arrow, and they're gonna go this way. But that's not the case. The real answer is that X is going that way, not this way. So let me give you another example of this type of thing. What if we were to say 2
So I have a
is less than
question.
X,
So
give me
you-
one second,
okay.
is less than 8, right? So let's go into this portion here. What happens in this case? Well, 1, I told you that here you're going to separate them, right? This into one, this into another, this portion into another. This one, you can't trust it because the arrow is not on the left-hand side. So you do X is greater than 2. And this one, you can trust it because the arrow is on the left-hand side. Now you can graph this stuff. Again, put a 0 to have a reference point. 2 is somewhere over here. And 2, remember, it's an open circle, and it's pointing to the right. So we have here, and here. And look at 8. 8, you could say, well, let's say that 8 is here. 8 is pointing where? To the left. So it's an open circle, because it has no bar below it, no equal sign below it, and you point this way, okay? So now, what can you do to combine these two guys? What can you do? Well, here's gonna be a hole, here's gonna be a hole, and you're going to put a hole here, and you're going to combine both, see? So what this means is, it could be greater than 2, but not 2, and it could be less than 8, but never 8. So that's what it means. What was your question?
You answered it. The X is always on this side because you can't trust it on the other side.
Right.
Okay,
The
I
X-
was gonna ask you, why do we have to put it on the
Yes,
other
so
side?
think about it like when you're reading, right? When you're reading, you read with letters. So that's not really the reason, but that's just a way to remember. Okay, so let's go back to your question of how do you know when you're dividing by a negative, right? So let's pretend that's number 1, and let's do number 2. Number 2, if you were to have something like 4 minus 3x is less than, let's say 6 minus 10, right? Okay, what do you do first? Pretend that this is going to be an equal sign. So you can pretend it's, for now we're going to erase it, or pretend it's an equal sign. The first thing you do, you need to subtract 4 from both sides. And this becomes negative 3x is less than 10 minus 4?
6.
6. Okay. Here, what's happening now? Now you're dividing by a negative number. Since you're doing that, you have to flip the direction of the arrow. This becomes like this, and you're going to divide by negative 3, right? Cancels. This becomes x is, what's 6 divided by negative 3? Negative 2. So x is negative 2. And now they ask you to graph it. You can trust it because the arrow goes on the left-hand side. And then you have what? You have 0 here. You have negative 2 here.
Open.
And negative 2 is going to be open, and it's going to be to the right. Another way that you could say is, okay, this could be a parentheses, and then it could be to the right. See? Let's see. What other ways could they have told you about this particular one? Well, like another way of symbol, it could
A
be
bracket?
a bracket, right? Those
For
two
the
brackets,
close.
like this. So both symbols have the same. In final exams, they like putting stuff like this, but they never introduce it to you. But now it has been introduced to you.
So
Yes.
that is the same.
So, I got it.
What does that mean, that it could be less or more?
No, but this could be, it could be 4. No, it is 4, including 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But no more than 10. And this could be 10
Oh,
and all the way to 4. But it can't be anything more.
and also the problem 1, how did you get x is less than -5
Well,
over?
because this is divisible by 2 here.
Ah,
10 divided by 2 is 5, and 4 divided by 2 is 5. No, I'm sorry, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Right, so then, as soon as I divide by a negative number, I flip the direction of the arrow, and then I start, oh, what happens if you get something like this in an exam? -5 over 2. You need to change it into a decimal. So, because here, so 2 divided
So
by
you
5,
divide by 5?
2, 4, right? And then 2.5, correct? So 2.5. So what this means now is when you have x is less than -2.5, how will we graph it? Let's see what we could graph it here. We could graph it with, you have a 0, you have a -2.5. What direction is it going? It's going to the left, right? To the left. So it's gonna be a open circle to the left. Or it could be a parentheses
Parentheses to the left.
to the left. See, that's important. So that's the general idea.
So
of
you're
this.
saying like when we have the multiple choice, when we see it, it might have a parenthesis, not just an open one?
Right,
Okay.
either one you should be comfortable with.
Okay.
And will they ask you from, from the graphic to come up with a number or no?
No, no, just from the number, make a graphic. So with that said, you are able to do stuff like this. So like for example here, -10 is less than x is less than 10. We could do, okay, we could do that one together and I'll let you guys do the rest on your own. So -10 is less than x is less than 10. Step number 1, I mean, write it.
Separate them, right?
I would separate them. Separate this together, right? Now separate this together. Notice I do a little bar here, just to have separation. I can't trust this, so what do? I just flip,
Flip it.
this. Look at -10, I'm not changing the symbol, right? The sign, I'm not changing the sign. I'm just changing the direction of the arrow. Okay? And this one, I can trust it because the variable's on the left-hand side. So now that I could graph it, it becomes, put a 0, and then x is greater than or equal to -10. -10, so that means I could put a dark circle or a bracket, and that goes all the way to infinity. Goes all the way to infinity. But however, we have a restriction.
With the 10.
The restriction with the 10. That 10 says, wait a minute, you can't keep on going anymore. You have to stop here. Oh,
Or bracket.
or bracket, right?
Okay.
Or, and that's your answer.